folks, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest tonight's a best-selling author. He's written the book Wise Guy, which he and Martin Scorsese adapted into the screenplay Goodfellas. His new book is Casino, and the movie, which is directed by Scorsese and stars Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, opens nationwide November 24th. It is my great pleasure to welcome to our show Nicholas Pileggi. Thanks very much for coming. I'm really looking forward to this movie. Oh. Because I've heard, and tell me if I'm wrong, that Joe Pesci's character in this movie, in Casino, is actually meaner, more psychotic than his character in Goodfellas. Is that true?
Well, yes, I think you might be able to say that. Yeah. He's very
How
wild.
do you do that? How do you make someone who's actually more evil than that character?
Well, they're based upon real characters, and things that you see in this book are really things that happen to a great degree.
Now, tell us about the guy that he plays in this movie, because I was hearing about him. He sounds like a very fascinating character.
Yeah, he plays a mob hitman and a gangster, a racket guy, who makes points in the mob by doing some very cruel and very painful things. And then he goes out to Vegas and thinks he can carry that sort of act on over in Las Vegas, and he just couldn't do it. And within about 10 years, it all collapsed. Really? Collapsed on him, collapsed on his friends, and really started the end of the mob's rule in Las Vegas.
Well, for example, the Joe Pesci character in Casino is based on, what's the real person's name?
A guy by the name of Anthony Spilatro was the man in the book. The book is nonfiction, and in the book, that man is named Anthony Spilatro, Tony Spilatro.
What's something bad that he did?
Well, I think the thing that people knew about was the FBI attributed about 36 murders to the guy. Friends of his deny all of this. And so, you know, somewhere in the middle there, you've got the story. One of the things he is alleged to have done, and we've gotten this story from both the FBI, the Chicago Crime Commission, and one of the guys who was a part of it, was that they were trying to get information out of a fella who didn't want to talk. And they tortured him, beat him up for about 2 days, and in the end, out of total frustration, they put his head in a vice and began squeezing it. And,
my God.
Yes, Conan. And they did.
See, I'm immune to that because I watched The Three Stooges as a kid.
That's right. Well,
anyone who watched them, I mean, Mo pretty much steeled me for anything in my adulthood.
Absolutely. You'd never talk.
I've seen many heads in vices, and it just bends the vice at the end, right? Yeah. Okay.
Not in reality.
All right. Now, I actually understand that there's a real hitman. You use a real hitman as sort of a consultant in this movie.
Yes. Well, it sounds, when you put it that way, it really sounds pretty grim. But what we wanted...
That's what happened, though, right?
Yes, it is. What we wanted to do is get a lot of the authenticity of the real story in the film. And Marty Scorsese, who wrote the screenplay with me and directed it, always looks for that. He wants to get it as much like a documentary as possible. So one of the things he did, of course, was shoot it in a real casino. I mean, this movie is not on a set. It's shot in a real working casino, the Riviera. And when we wanted to get one of the people who really had been there and had gone through this thing, one of the fellows I came across in writing the book was a man by the name of Frank Collada. Frank Collada is now in the Federal Witness Program, and God knows he's worth a book in his own right. But he was very helpful to me in writing the book, and then he became a consultant on the film. And he was terrific because he was there.
And he would say things like, that's not how you kill somebody, this is how you kill somebody?
What happened was that he testified and therefore was given immunity. So he could tell us what actually happened. The federal government had given him immunity, not the movie company. And he told us about one hit. I mean, I remember I'm sitting there and I'm taking notes from this guy, and I can't believe what I'm hearing. He's talking really, he said, this one guy, we had to whack him because we were afraid he was going to talk, and I went to his house, and I didn't have my silencer, so I made half loads, and that turns out to be they take half the powder for a bullet, so it didn't make a lot of noise. So I had to chase him. I hit him 5 times in the head, and the guy kept going because the half loads didn't penetrate.
So basically, this is his bad day.
This is his bad day. This is his hair day, right?
This is his equivalent of the copy machine is running low on ink. I was on half charges today. The bullets wouldn't go in his head. I had to use a whole clip. I don't want to talk about it. Let's have a drink.
Then he got a toaster, and he got the rope from the toaster cord.
What did he use?
The guy wouldn't go down. He had to get a toaster cord. So he got a toaster cord, and I got him. I chased him all the way to the garage with the toaster cord. And I wrapped it around his neck, and I started to pull it. And don't you know what? I said, what? The toaster cord broke. Oh, my God. I said, oh, boy, you're living a life. You know? Anyway, yeah, so you're talking and taking notes. So first thing I did with this guy, I said, oh, this guy's beautiful. I introduced him to Scorsese immediately. I mean, this was Marty's kind of guy. So Marty said, oh, you're here. You put him right next to him. Now Marty's got the real thing next to him. And there was a hit going on in the film. I mean, you know, and it's based on real stuff. And Marty, I don't know, there must have been something. Marty was looking for more. Marty's always looking for more. Wanted better, better, better. And so he said, there's something wrong here. And he called Frank Collado over and he said, there's something wrong here. Frank said, of course, that's not the way it's done. Marty said, what do you mean? No, I didn't do it that way. No, you show them how to do it. Yeah, so Collado goes over and he gets the prop gun and the guy comes out and he does it. Well, he did it with such energy and such power that it was no longer a movie. And Marty watched that, and Marty said, that's it. You're doing it. So he now gets hired.
He's actually in the movie killing people.
He's hired as a film actor. Yes, he is now an actor. He now gets a SAG
I love that town. Isn't that a great town?
And he does
Hollywood
it. And it is, I must say, I've seen it, and it's a riveting.
You probably got to, like, keep an eye on this guy, though. He might say, this isn't realistic enough.
No.
Let's put real bullets in here. He'll go right down.
No, to be perfectly honest, he has turned over a new leaf.
All right, let me ask you something, because this is something I've noticed in both your books, is that all these characters have nicknames. Yes. And it's something that everybody now accepts. You know, it's always something, the spoon, you know, or... That was mine, the spoon.
You're
it's embarrassing. I was Conan the spoon. That's why I got out. No one, you know, had any respect for me. But, like the spoon, I had to leave. But why do they have these nicknames? Is there actually a good reason for it?
Well, I think it's you know, when you're born in densely packed urban areas, like I was in Bensonhurst, the place, you've got 200 kids on a block.
Right.
And they're all named Pete, Anthony, Tony, and Joe. So you say, hey, Joe, 11 guys can come out of a house.
Right.
So, you know, this is Joe Donuts, and this is Joe the Spoon, and and you wind up getting nicknames. Usually they're given affectionately, and they're given to you as a kid.
And once they're given to you, then... So I wouldn't need a nickname because I already have a freak first name, so I wouldn't need, right? I wouldn't actually need one.
No, there aren't too many Conans in the neighborhood.
Not in the mob, no. All right, now I would think you have dealt, when you were working on Goodfellas and when you wrote the book Wise Guy, you're working closely with Henry Hill. You've worked closely with a lot of mobsters. You've just told us you work closely with a hitman. Do you ever get worried for your personal safety?
No.
You don't worry about it?
I get there after it's all over. I mean, I'm not fighting crime. I'm there after court cases have been adjudicated. People have gone to prison. I mean, I'm basically the court stenographer.
Okay.
And I get all this material and put it together and try to get into some kind of cohesive package.
Because I would think even if you personally aren't afraid, maybe people around you would be. You know what I mean? Maybe someone in your family or someone who's around with you on a regular basis might be uncomfortable.
Well, once in a while people get they feeling because they've seen the movies and they begin to think. I remember once my wife and I have a house in the country, and one weekend she gets a call from the house watcher, who you know only occasionally watches the house anyway.
Right.
And he says, we have a big problem. I said, what's the problem? He said, well, somebody has taken the kitchen door off. Now this is the winter, and we have electric heat, which meant the bill was going to be about $5 grand for the month.
Sure.
So he said, what happened? Well, we don't know. We went out there, and he said, you know what I think? I said, what? This is an ex-detective. He said, I think it had to do with the stuff you write. I think the mob took your kitchen door.
They took it? They took it for a ride somewhere to intimidate it? A guy's driving it around in Brooklyn, you know. You better make him stop. It's a door. Leave it alone.
Your kitchen door sleeps with the fishes. So I think there's a bit of fantasy, and maybe I'm being put on by it, but that was it.
All right. Well, I wish we had more time. There's so much more. I hope you can come back, because there's a lot to talk about. Casino opens nationwide Friday, November 24th, and, of course, there's the book. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. We'll be right back with UB40.